Welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting for Suppliers, presented by 8th and Walton, the premier destination for supplier development and sponsored in part by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp., the leading provider of credit and credibility solutions for businesses. I'm Andy Shook, coming to you from Bentonville Square, and thank you for joining us. The energy around here is amazing. If you live in Northwest Arkansas, if you sell to or buy from Walmart, if you're involved in retail in any way, stay right where you are. This is Walmart Shareholders Week, and it is electric. The first Walmart Shareholders Meeting was in 1970, when a grand total of 6 people met in a coffee shop near the Walmart warehouse. This year, more than 10,000 people from all over the world came to Northwest Arkansas for a week's worth of exciting events. There's also excitement about another Walmart event, Walmart's Made in the USA Open Call, coming up July 7th and 8th. That's when, as part of Walmart's commitment to American manufacturing, Walmart invites suppliers to show them their best American-made products. So, it's no wonder that today's program is about the energy of Walmart. On today's show, you'll meet people who are here for shareholders, and you'll meet the big winners from last year's Made in America Open Call. Now fasten your seatbelts, and let's get this ride started. We're here today with Hugh Jarratt from Jarratt Industries. Welcome, Hugh.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, so Open Call, Walmart's Open Call, you experienced that, was that about a year ago?
Well, about a year ago in July.
A year ago in July. So you're actually a supplier now at Walmart, and you got your taco plate in. Yes, the wonderful taco plate. So tell us a little bit about, what was your business like before the Open Call?
We've been making and selling taco plates for about 4 years prior to the Open Call. So we had built up, sales had steadily increased, and we were about at 10,000 plates a month prior to Open Call. Fairly steady. So we were selling about 10,000 a month to various mail order catalogs and gourmet kitchen stores prior to the Open Call.
So doing about 10,000 plates, about 120,000 a year, 135,000 a year right in there. So yes, what changed then? What did you do to prepare for that Open Call? Let's talk a little bit about that. What did you do to prepare?
Well, after I sent in my application to be at Open Call, I asked all of my suppliers to sit down with me. And that's everybody from my banker to the label supplier, the label that goes on the plates, to my injection molder.
Now, is this because you were so confident you were going to get in?
No,
or you just
absolutely not. I'm a worry wart.
You're a worry wart.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't want to get caught. You know, in case we were fortunate, I didn't want to get caught not being ready. So in the event that we had a sale, I wanted to get ready for it and asked my suppliers to see if they could be ready for it. They were all on board.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because I think it's important for suppliers that are looking to do business with Walmart to understand that and know that you have to be prepared when you walk in. You know, you're not walking in there to to have Walmart try to figure out what it is to do, your business. You should know that before you walk in.
That's right.
And did that help you?
It did help me. And my suppliers, Polytech Molding, First Tape and Label, and my bankers had all dealt with other Walmart suppliers in the past. So not only did they understand kind of the process that it goes through, they also gave me a little bit of advice on what to do and how to set prices and quantities and things like that.
Take us through the buyer's meeting. What was that like?
Okay, it really started about 10 days prior to the meeting. About 10 days prior, the Walmart media people called me and said, we have some national media outlets that want to cover the Open Call.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good indication that things are going to go well.
Absolutely. It was great news. So they said, would I be willing to talk to one of the producers? So I said, sure, I'd love the opportunity. The next day, one of the producers called and told me that they were interviewing different companies that were going to appear at the Open Call, and they were going to pick 3 or 4 to shadow. So I talked with him for about 10 minutes, and then a week later, we're actually on vacation on a Saturday. He calls me back, and he said, hey Hugh, we would love to follow you through the process. Can we meet Monday afternoon to talk about your meeting that's set up for Tuesday? So I said, sure. We were very excited. My wife was very nervous now about what she was going to wear. So Monday afternoon, we met with one of the producers. And then Tuesday morning, our meeting was at the home office, and we met the media people there. And when it was our turn to go and sit down with the buyers, those buyers' rooms are not big.
No, they're not.
So we had so my wife and I were there representing Jarratt Industries. Then we had our injection molder there, who could talk about our capacity. And then we had the Walmart media people who were shadowing the national media people all crammed in to this little room. Halfway through the meeting, Bill Simon, the U.S. CEO, sticks his head in, looks at the product, speaks to everyone, who's very nice. Then we got back to business. The news people left, and we talked some numbers and prices, things like that.
Okay.
And then they brought the news people back in, and that's when Mr. Ortiz told me that they'd like 1 million of them as fast as we could produce them. And in those little rooms, my shoulder's against the wall. If it wasn't, I would have just fallen right out of my chair. Exactly. But luckily, I was up against the wall, and I didn't fall out of my chair when he made the order.
So Walmart has purchurchased some product. Tell us a little bit about that. So what was the first thing that happened, and what's happening now? We had some follow-up meetings to get to make sure we were on board with what Walmart wanted. They wanted me to revise my label, and it did need to be revised to make it more professional. So we changed the label. They also looked at my colors, and they picked out the colors they wanted the most, they thought were the best sellers. So we picked out the 5 best sellers, and historically, the 5 that we picked are my top sellers. Okay.
So we came up with the assortment that they wanted and the case pack that they wanted, and then we shipped 60,000 in December of 14, and then we had a mod fill in April of 15, so the bulk of the orders have gone out now about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And we're starting to see the mod numbers roll, and that's very interesting. Some replenishment numbers, things like that.
So what did you learn through this whole process with Walmart's open call? Did it feel like it was a something fair that helped you as a supplier? Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I think that they made an absolute concerted effort to work with the different suppliers. There are other suppliers that I've talked to, they're here local, and then other guys that I just met for the first time in the hall. Even if you didn't get an order, they told you what you could do to get ready to come back, things like that. So I think that the concerted effort really helped this different suppliers. And I think that, I think Polytech, my injection molder, indicated that the results of the meetings about 10 job equivalents, depending on how the shifts run and things like that. And then, Jarratt Industries has added people, and it's just been a very good impact. And I think that for American manufacturers, there's a lot of optimism about what can be done.
And for that door to be open.
That's right.
And to have that kind of a conversation, which, and if you try to get in Walmart before, and as other suppliers have tried, sometimes it's difficult to get past that door. But it's great that Walmart has opened up this door to American suppliers. And Hugh, we really want to thank you for coming in and sharing your story. This is a great time to do it, and I hope your taco plate does really well.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First shareholders meeting I ever attended was in 1984. It was at the high school gym, the Bentonville High School gym. Held about 2,000 people. I do remember it was full, and I remember it was incredible because the difference then and now is, of course, Sam ran that meeting, and so you had this interaction between Sam Walton and what really was just mostly local folks who were either working for Walmart or had retired or who were invested at Walmart. Most of them knew Mr. Walton.
I really liked seeing Sam open up the meeting and trying to always learn from his people. The biggest thing I noticed was he always kneeled down on one knee, and he listened to the people and to bring great ideas to him, and then he would incorporate it later into the company and share with others.
My name is Diana from Ecuador, and this is my first year at the shareholders meeting. I know there is business being done here, but the information being shared is incredible.
GigWalk is transforming how work gets done. As the leading mobile workforce management platform, GigWalk provides companies with mobile tools and a data-driven approach to improving business efficiency. Leading brands and retailers use GigWalk to manage their field teams and to mobilize 750,000 GigWalkers to collect data intelligence about their business and brands. Are the shelves stocked? Are my products priced competitively? Are the correct promotions in place? Visit us at gigwalk.com to learn more. GigWalk, make work better.
Retail Solutions is the market leader helping advance reporting and analytics with Walmart suppliers around the globe. We manage the data for you, automate data integration, attribution, and reports, and then help you focus on activities that will drive the most value. To do this, RSI works with you to perform a business value assessment to identify the largest value opportunities in your business. If improving results in sales through better insights and execution and efficiencies are important to you, contact RSI today.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
Imagine what it would be like if you knew the weather up to a year in advance. What would you do differently for your business or your life? At Weather Trends, we don't imagine it, we do it. We're a team of meteorologists, mathematicians, and business weather advisors, and we've spent the last 20 years developing a new way to forecast months in advance. We've been studying weather's effect on product sales based on every 1 degree change in temperature. We can now take your sales data and show you exactly how the weather impacts your business down to a single degree. We're leading the way into a new era in forecasting and a new power in business decisions. And we invite you to join us. Welcome to Weather Trends.
Tap to Win engages with shoppers. They tap their phones on chips put in packaging or displays to get recipes, movie trailers, or even see instantly if they're a sweepstakes winner. Check out tpgrewards.com.
We're here today with John McCutcheon from Polytech Molding. Welcome, John.
Oh, glad to be here. Thank you.
What is the Polytech Molding story, John?
Well, the story is we are a plastic injection molding company. We also do plastic extrusion. The company's been there about...
What exactly is that? When you say extrusion and molding, what is that?
Well, the molding is we can make any kind of plastic part. If this was plastic, this coffee mug, we could make that coffee mug.
So you manufacture Hugh Jarratt's taco plates.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about that story, kind of how you got involved with that, and you actually went on the buyer meeting with it.
Yes, we did. I did. And it was probably one of the most exciting business days of my life, and that's a very true statement.
Now, it was somewhat unusual to have the manufacturer actually sitting in on this meeting as well, wasn't it?
I guess it was. You know, Hugh's strategy was we're his manufacturing company. I mean, basically, we do all the manufacturing, packaging, labeling, distribution. We ship to the Walmart DCs. We do it all for him. So I think he wanted me to be there just in case they had manufacturing questions. And
shipping and logistic questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I played a very interesting support role and watched him and his wife sell taco plates, and they did a great job. 1 million taco plates. That's how great they did.
1 million, yeah. You know, so what kinds of questions were you asked when you were in there?
Well, you know, they kept asking Hugh about selling and what he thought they could sell them for. And Hugh had a track record. What Hugh had and what they said was really interesting is Hugh Jarratt had a track record. We had been making taco plates for him for, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years. Okay. And he would sell some on Amazon, some on Zulily, you know, different avenues like that.
Right.
And it was a unique product. That was another thing Walmart liked. And
They do. They, you know, having just bringing in another plate that matched the other plates that they had, it would be really difficult for a manufacturer to come in like that. But here you've got a very unique, innovative item.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and it's patented, and you know he's a lawyer. He's taking care of all that. But from my standpoint, they just also wanted to know, are you ready to manufacture it? And of course, we were ready.
Okay.
Not quite to the extent that we were expecting a 1 million plate order.
Okay.
And I remember when Bill Simon came in there, and then the head buyer asked us, you know, said, well, I think we'll order 1 million taco plates. And he looked at me, how fast can you make them? Well, at that time I had a single cavity tool, so every 30 seconds I could only make one.
You could only
make so not that fast.
So being a chief marketing officer, you're probably good with numbers, and you're probably thinking, okay, now how many of these can I make in 30 seconds? That'll take it. Yeah.
So we immediately decided to build a 4 cavity tool, so we can now make 4 at a time and crank out. Yeah. So we adjusted, but it's been very exciting. We just completed the first, I'm going to call it the big order, to where now they're in every single Walmart store in North America.
Okay.
Or in the United States.
So modular came, you were able to fill that order, and now you're doing replenishment orders and taking care of that and doing all the shipping from that. So you're in the meeting with Walmart. Yeah. What surprised you most about that meeting?
Well, the event surprised me. I'd been up here maybe once in my life, believe it or not. I'm born and raised in Fayetteville, but I just never had any connections with Walmart. I was in different stuff. But anyway, so you come up here, there's 1,700 companies here on that one day being represented. Everybody gets 30 minutes. There's like 800 meetings. So yeah, it was crazy, and people are going here and there and all that kind of stuff. And so just the size of it, and then going into the meeting and in 30 minutes walking out with an order for 1 million taco plates, it was mind-blowing. Yeah.
So you probably, like most of us, read the U.S. manufacturing, that Walmart was going to support that. Did you believe it, and are you a believer now? And what do you think about U.S. manufacturing?
Let me say this, I'm a 100% believer now.
Yeah.
I was, I guess, a little skeptical, like I'm sure everybody was at first.
Sure.
But I'm going to tell you, I've got a small company. It's made a big difference in this small company. Without question, we have 53, 55 people. We had 45. So I know that doesn't sound like big yet at 8 to 10 jobs, but that's a big deal in Northwest Arkansas, in Prairie Grove, Arkansas particularly. And we have picked up other business that's been directly or indirectly driven by the Walmart Made in the USA initiative. So I would be a testimonial to that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that then. Some of the changes that are happening around the world with manufacturing. What's your perspective?
Well, I was in manufacturing when we saw a lot of it go to China.
Right.
I was in the aluminum die casting business. We made grills. We lost a huge grill company that just one day couldn't compete and had to go take it all to China. So I was around when we saw it all shift over there. I think what's happened, and statistics bear it out, but the labor, the amount of what they have to pay labor has risen. The cost of logistics has risen. The delta has shrunk. We've become more efficient through technology and through innovation. I don't think there's any question about that. And so now, if you're transparent, and what I mean by that is we join with our customers and we'll show them our cost. We'll show them our margin. We'll show them our cycle time. And then they got to be transparent with us. Here's what they really need to have. Then we can usually figure out a way to get there. But that's what it takes.
Well, and I think logistics, shipping it over in containers versus having it here in the United States. I mean, you almost make these taco plates to order, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, each week you make a certain amount, and then you ship those the next week.
Yeah, and it could be whatever this DC needs and that DC needs, we're there. We're in Walmart's backyard. Walmart's been to our plant and done their inspections and everything like that. And so I think we have a tremendous advantage just being in the backyard of Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, John, you bring a really kind of unique and different perspective to this whole idea of Made in the USA, and thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun, and we're 100%, we just really enjoy working with Walmart. It's been good.
Yeah, that's great. Saturday morning meeting for suppliers. We'll be right back.
The leadership takes out time to really connect with their associates, and they work really hard to make sure that this is something that they'll always remember. I don't know another company that does that.
Walmart Shareholders Week is one of the most exciting weeks in Northwest Arkansas, in the state of Arkansas, and across the world. What better place to celebrate the birth of the largest retail in the world than right here on the square in Bentonville?
I'm from Brazil, São Paulo, and it's my first time here in Bentonville and with the shareholders.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
Trying to get your product noticed by retailers and customers? Rapid Prototypes in Bentonville can help with packaging, displays, renderings, signage, and much more. They are called Rapid Prototypes for a reason. Rapid turnaround and rapid response time to your needs. Need 2-week turnaround? Easy. Need 2-day turnaround? No problem. Need 2-minute turnaround? Let's talk. At Rapid Prototypes, we're always willing to go the extra mile for you. Rapid Prototypes, across from Cassano's Pizza on Walton Boulevard in Bentonville. Call 479-273-3278.
The New School, an independent school serving 1-year-olds to grade 8, offering small class sizes and teachers who are committed to academic excellence. Learn more at newschool.org.
My colleagues and I were lucky enough to have a custom course put together for us by Ethan Walton and Iris, our instructor. It focused on all the different aspects of what an analyst might need from retailing to work with Walmart. I think what surprised me most is that there were so many things that I had not been using in Retail Inc. that would be valuable for me and that I hadn't attempted to use yet. And also just some tips and shortcuts. Iris has a lot of experience, and she knows how to help you find things that are going to help you do your work.
We're here now with Nicholas Sovell of RPM Drymat. Welcome, Nicholas.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your call with Walmart, the Walmart Made in the USA Open call that you went to last year.
Okay, well, we got an email, I don't know, maybe spring, early summer, and just said, hey, Walmart's hosting this event, USA-made manufacturers.
Now you got the letter because you were already supplying products to Walmart,
yes, yeah,
right?
we do supply one item already, a gas grill mat to Walmart.
Okay.
We got this in and we said, oh wow, this is a great opportunity because you just don't get that to get contact to all these different buyers. With our material, we can do so many different applications with it, so many different places you can in the store you can sell it to. We just threw the kitchen sink at them. So we filled out form after form and every buyer that if we had a mat that if we had a cat mat, a kitchen mat, an auto mat,
all over the store.
All over store, we sent a presentation to them.
Now you also went in and you took a look at the categories and
Yes.
kind of decided, okay, we think, and you went and looked at, hey, this is made in China.
Yep.
We can make this or something very similar to
Yep.
it with different things. How important was that, do you think, as you went into those meetings?
Huge. Rather than just saying, hey, I make a mat, you want to buy it? It's kind of like we went in there and go say, okay, here's the area of the pet section. They have these two mats that are in there, and then it's also about facing. I mean, the space there is so valuable, and with ours we can kind of fold it. So one of our main pitches are like, hey, you're one that's fold all out there. We can fold ours in a little spot.
Let's talk a little bit about this. So this is the item that you actually got in,
Yep,
right?
this is one of them. Yep.
Okay, and you're in 3,000 stores.
Yep, right around there.
And tell us a little bit about this mat.
Well, it's a cat litter mat. What it does is the soft felt material will actually clean the paws litter right off the cat's paws.
You don't have to teach your cat how to do that. They jump out.
Yeah, they jump out.
It does it.
It's kind of like wipe it. Yeah, they're kind of like wipe it. Non-slip backing, so it doesn't skid everywhere. It's also absorbent, so if you got an older cat or a cat that misses the box, it's going to catch it.
So you brought this mat to Walmart. It's innovative,
Yes.
both in the size of the package, being able to fold it up, and then also the materials that you used in it. It's patented,
Yes,
right?
yes, a patent material.
Most importantly, it's made in the U.S.
Yes, made in the USA.
Right.
Yeah, and that was key. That was key.
So you had 10 other meetings, I think you said that day, 10 different meetings.
Yeah.
What's been the result of those? You've gotten one of the items in with one of the departments.
Yeah, we're still in contact with about five of the buyers, going back and forth. Things do move slower there just because they have their mod sets, and then they got to go through and pick and everything else. So we're still very optimistic we're going to get some stuff. And then the ones that they didn't go in, it was kind of no hard feelings. We were really throwing everything at them.
Sure.
And it just either was just not a right fit for the Walmart customer, or we had one where it was just too big, just took up too much space. It was a garage floor mat,
Right.
and just took up too much space, too expensive to get what they need for turns and everything else.
So how important was this meeting for you?
Oh, huge. It was so important. We before this, the recession was hitting us. We're just a small, 12-person company. Our largest customer was actually kind of winding down, going out of business. So we never had to let anybody go, but we were really kind of just telling everybody, keep your head down, keep working hard, and something's good's going to come. And then this came and was just so great for us. I mean, just.
So you got your product in.
Yep.
And now, what's been your experience with that as far as logistic problems, issues, different things like that? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, it's been some learning curves. It's just Walmart is so big that when you have to, first was just the supply, the first store fill. You get the great news that you're in, but then when you actually get the store counts, because you don't know, you could be in 500 stores, you could be in 3,000 stores,
Sure.
So you don't know what that is. And by the time we got that, we really had to scramble to fill those stores. So we did that, and then it's all about replenishing, which is tough because with our other item, we didn't really have to replenish as much.
It was a seasonal item. You sold once a year. Yeah. You made 100,000 or whatever that number was.
Yeah, I wish 100,000.
Well, whatever that number was. But it was a one-time fill.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a little bit different. So explain that process, because I think that's important for suppliers to know that it's not just a matter. Walmart's not just going to order 100,000, send them to us. There's a process that goes through that. And explain that. And what
well, I mean, basically, you have to fill what they sell each week to replace it, replenishing it. And it's not every day everybody's going to buy the same amount of cat mats each week.
Sure.
You know?
Well, congratulations on getting your item in.
Thank you.
And it sounds like, now, are you coming back this year again?
We're hoping. We're going to throw another kitchen sink at them. So,
see what the buyers say this week.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And there's other stuff we can still throw at them for sure. So, yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Well, Nicholas, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your story with us for this show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Saturday morning meeting for suppliers. We'll be right back.
And the incredible thing was that the Walmart associates were able to come to those meetings and also attend, some of the concerts, which were great.
And it's just great to see how Walmart has just brought the global community together.
Well, this is my very first shareholders meeting, and just excited to be part of just the experience all in all.
And I still get a thrill, goosebumps, and thoroughly enjoy this time where we see associates from all over the world sharing the Walmart culture, sharing the beliefs we have, and really showing how we have so much more in common than we ever do as our differences.
Today, investors are in search of more options with their investments. If you are 59 and a half, you can often roll your 401k over to a traditional IRA. This will give you more investment options. Curious? Call Mach 1 Financial now to see if you qualify.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
8th and Walton can help you become a smarter supplier with webinars and classes, services like custom training, consulting, HR solutions, and staffing. Visit www.8thandwalton.com to find out how you can become a better partner to Walmart. Sales Analysts. Build your skills fast with 8th and Walton's core classes. Order them together and save 10%. Go to 8thandwalton.com/classes now.
A big thank you to all this week's guests. You won't want to miss next week's show. You'll meet retail experts and thought leaders who'll fill you in on their views of Walmart's strategies and initiatives for this coming year. And we'll be back at our usual time on Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. and again on Sunday morning at 5 a.m. Just like everything coming from 8th and Walton, Saturday morning meeting for suppliers strives to help you become a better partner to Walmart. From all of us at Saturday morning meeting for suppliers, thanks for watching.